Hello, my audience. So I was replaying my video on 2002 Spider-Man, my last video. And I know it got me thinking about that movie. Green Goblins, they made Green Goblin too similar to Kirk Connors, and he's too much of a nice guy. Instead of a mean evil, instead of like a kind of a corrupt business person that becomes evil. You know, is this something that seems like the Jekyll and Hyde persona with Green Goblin comes across too similar to Kirk Connors from That's the Lizard from Spider-Man 616 comics? This is the story they used for him in the Spider-Man 2002 movie. And which proves my point. Why didn't they just use Kirk Connors? And like, why did they throw MJ off the building of the Brooklyn Bridge, where we know that's where Gwen dies? I thought they were going to kill off MJ at the end of Spider-Man 1 and have Spider-Man fail to save her. Like, it would be a Spider-Man inline thing to have. But no, we have to make sure our hero has everything when his way. Which brings me to today's movie. I'm reviewing Spider-Man 2012, The Amazing Spider-Man. That movie has the real Kirk Connors in the movie. That turns into the liver instead of knockoff Kirk Connors. Which is who Green Goblin always reminds me of in the Sam Raimi movie, which is why I think he sucks as, well, Goblin. So, today's movie isn't the first installment from the Andrew era of Spider-Man. He's a much compelling, three-dimensional, relatable Spider-Man, and much more funny, entertaining Spider-Man, and Peter Parker, a much more quiet, socially awkward Peter Parker in this movie. And a much more funny, entertaining, heroic Spider-Man. He acts more like Spider-Man from 616 than Maguire failed to act like. 3 times he failed to act like Spider-Man and Peter to get into character. He just felt like he was always playing Maguire, giving another Maguire performance by Tobey Maguire. Andrew, on the other hand, takes a different approach. He takes a chance to get into character and give it his all. He comes across as a hybrid of Ultimate Spider-Man Peter Parker and 616 Spider-Man Peter Parker, but reinvented for a modern era. Taking place more in modern time with his origin story. And this time he has the mechanical web shoes that he invents himself, like the 616 comic pack in the Ultimate Comics, how he had it. The mechanical web shooters. Instead of those freaky, disgusting organic web shooters. I swear I thought he was mutating into the man spider. Is why I thought he had the organic web shooters. I thought he was having an early mutation, going to start to mutate into Man Spider, like in the '90s cartoon as a kid. That's what I thought was going to happen in 2002 Spider-Man movie. Holy shit, we're going to see the arachnid Man Spider. This is going to freak me out. But no, it led to nothing. Is this now a character trait he has of one of his OVP powers in the Raimiverse? Then the 616 comes decide to mock it in on the magic by making Spider-Man mechanical web shoes and trading them in from the organic, trading mechanical web shooters into with organic web shooters. With the spider tone demigod that grants him, like gives him an upgrade of organic web shooters and stuff. And Sam Raimi ruined a lot for Spider-Man fans. Not just one more day, but his trilogy ruined a lot for Spider-Man. To be a fan of Spider-Man. Similar how Tom Holland's original trilogy played out. In all three of them. That's for another review. I like how we see Spider-Man make his costume on screen and make the organic perfect the web shooters. With Oscorp technology, he steals the knowledge from Oscorp and makes some organic web shooters and perfects it. And makes the perfection iconic Spider-Man costume. That's homemade by Peter Parker. And the plot of the Amazing Spider-Man 2. Amazing Spider-Man 1. 2012. I give this a 10 points out of 10. I like that Spider-Man actually feels like he has a hero's journey and develops from a selfish kid wanting to find out what happened to his parents, kind of abandoning that, and to become your favorite neighborhood Spider-Man from the comics. And develop over that, develop becoming that character over the course of the runtime of the movie. And by the end of the movie, he feels like that character. And I like that. And I like when Stacy, played by Emma Stone, and I like the relationship he has in this movie, actually blossoms instead of just landing on a cock-teased cliffhanger and saving for Spider-Man 2. Like Maguire did with the relationship and how it never blossomed was started. And Uncle Ben's in this movie. He's in this franchise, but he's not in Holland's franchise. because he doesn't exist. Because that's what Aunt May's supposed to be, Uncle Ben. Because she said the line that Uncle Ben said in the comics and in the Sam Raimi film, but not in this Superior film. That's the one thing I wish they incorporated in this movie, the line just one time. But no, the last person that will say that will be Aunt May, not that old fuck Uncle Ben. Fuck Uncle Ben. Yeah, am I right, my friends? Uncle Ben sucks and pointless to the character of Spider-Man. The most pointless character of all time in Spider-Man Missiles, I say. So what? He actually delivered that line in the comics, and Peter didn't actually stop a mugger after getting money from wrestling, and then the uncle got shot in his own home, leading to Peter track down the mugger and take his revenge, and then give him to the authorities after he realized he kind of caused the whole thing himself by not doing anything. We don't need those stupid character, pointless schmoes, character, iconic moments with the Holland runs. Because Uncle Ben sucks. Nobody likes Uncle Ben. Nobody cares about comic book Spider-Man. Suck it, you know it's true. If it wasn't true, nobody would be kissing up on Spider-Man Brand New Day with the Holland run and saying it's the superior Spider-Man movie of all time, yada yada yada. If it's the superior Spider-Man movie, then why does it seem like the most comic accurate portrayal on Spider-Man? Oh, I get it. It's sort of like the Spawn 90s movie. How it ran from more camp and corny popcorn humor and fart jokes and disgusting crude humor instead of the dark, twisted, tormented soul and focused on that being the drama of Spawn. You know how it's just I get it. I get it why we like Tom Holland's. It's because he's the 90s version of Spawn for the 2010s. They never got, like how Spawn never got a trilogy, but gave Blade a trilogy. And then Blade 3 happened. Spider-Man feels like he's made Blade 3 three fucking times with Holland's run. But worse. At least Blade 3 had Wesley Snipes and Triple H, the wrestler. And Ryan Reynolds being funny. And some hot chick with a bow and arrow. Look, I'll be honest, I don't remember a lot about Blade 3, but I remember more about that movie than I remember any about Spider-Man movies from Maguire or Holland run. And that's saying something, how much what I think of them. So this would be happy I only like one of these Spider-Man movies. Just be glad one of them is worthy of my attention. That's my full attention of remembering the movie. And that would be this week, 2012 Spider-Man movie. Andrew Spider-Man is the only Spider-Man I can get on board for being believed by as Peter Parker and Spider-Man. None of them should wear that fucking costume. I want to rip all off the iconic costume right off from their skins. Because they shouldn't deserve the costume. I think Spider-Man Brand New Day and Spider-Man Trilogy with Tom Maguire should not have the comic book accurate costume because that belongs in a museum and hanged up. Not to be put on by whatever actor just wants the Spider-Man paycheck and doesn't want to commit to the role. Like an asshole. A lazy one. That's who Tom Holland and Maguire is. We only got Andrew that actually wanted to commit to the role. How sad is pathetic is that? 1 out of 2 actors are good at being Spider-Man. That's Andrew. Fuck me. We traded Andrew for Holland for this. We traded the most comic book portrayal of Spider-Man for a more looser adaptation to what Maguire gave us, and we like that more. Or you guys do, the public, you idiots. You're just making everyone stupider and lazier in Hollywood. You're part of the problem why these comic book movies suck so much. So that's why I give Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man 2012 a 10 points out of 10. Goodbye, subscribe to this video. See you in my next video.